Hey guys, this is Anita. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my January wrap up. I had a weird January month. I was very excited when I planned my January TBR. I was expecting all of them to be 5 stars except one, and only one of them turned out to be 5 stars, and I read that in February. So none of the books we are going to talk about today are going to be 5 stars. I completed 5 books in January. 2 are 3.25 stars, one is 3.75, one is 4.25, and the last one is 4.5. I also struggled with focus in January. I'm not sure which is the case. I struggled with focus because I did not enjoy the books, or I did not enjoy the books because of my lack of focus. Both could be true. The first book I completed in January was The Song of Eclipse by Madeline Miller. I enjoyed Cersei by her, and so I went in with high expectations, but it did not turn out well for me. I had a separate review for this. Please go and check it out if you are interested. I'm not going to talk about this book in detail here. If you don't know what this book is about, it is about the story of the Achilles in Patroclus' perspective. Its main focus is on how they met, how they trained together, and how their bond grew. I read this as part of buddy read in Ben's Discord. Many people who read this enjoyed it except couple of others. It could be your thing, but it did not work for me. I gave it only 3.25 stars. Next book I want to talk about is Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. I had a weird experience with this book. I did not like this at all in the beginning. Main character did not add anything to me in the beginning. She met this family where both brother and sister are caricatures. I did not like them at all. I just rolled my eyes whenever they talked. But halfway through the book, things changed for me. Main character started finding voice and started taking control, and pacing also got a lot better. I enjoyed the second part of the book a lot. Austen rants in this book about what's wrong with reading novels. I had so much fun reading that. That applies even now. I met many people who reads non-fiction and look down on people who reads fantasy. That was definitely fun. I found the premise of this book little misleading. It talked about main character exploring this gothic house. It did happen, but very late into the book and for very shorter time. Though I did not enjoy the first half of the book, second part is definitely got better for me. I gave this book 3.25 stars. The next book I want to talk about is The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams. The reign in the title indicates how many times this world was invaded. They were invaded 8 times before the events of this book. They are in ninth reign now. There is too much history there. There is almost hundreds of years gap between each reign. This book mainly follows 3 characters. The first one is called Vintage. She's a scholar. I enjoyed her character a lot. Most of the chapters started with her letters, through which we get lot of world building. I enjoyed those a lot. And the second character is Thor, who belongs to a different race. They have common features of both elves and vampires. They drink sap from their tree god, which make them very strong, and they live hundreds of years. But at the end of the 8th reign, their tree god died and they started getting weaker. In order to survive, they started consuming human blood, and they are suffering from the side effects of that now. Thor doesn't want to suffer and die alone, so he leaves their city to explore the world. And the third character is a witch who is on the run. Their paths merge and we follow their journey. The world building is very interesting and slow. I don't mind the slow pace and getting to know the characters, as long as it picks up the pace once we start figuring things out. But that did not happen here. Around 200 pages I got clarity and I predicted the ending. After that I needed things to pick up, but it did not happen that, and I got little bored. Though I predicted the ending, last few chapters are very entertaining and I enjoyed them a lot. I like the banter between characters, and the main character Vintage is a 40-year-old woman. It is refreshing to follow an adult who is a scholar and adventurous. Now that the world building is done, I am hoping the pace would pick up in next book. I'm looking forward to read that one. The next book I want to talk about is The Baron Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This is book 1 in Winter Night trilogy and I liked it a lot. And this is the last book I read in January, and this also fixed my lack of focus. We mainly follow Vasya, who is a free spirit since childhood. Her mother died in childbirth and she is raised by her nanny and her elder sister. In their culture, they honor household spirits and give offerings to them. But Vasya's father gets remarried and her stepmother is a devout Christian and doesn't believe in honoring household spirits, and she forbids them from doing that. So they start fading and things started happening around the town. I'm not familiar with Russian fairy tales or folklore, so I read everything like fiction and I enjoyed getting to know these household spirits. Vasya is a fantastic character to follow. She's fierce, adventurous, and independent. Writing is very atmospheric. This book is set in northern Russia where 7 to 8 months in a year is winter. I read this book when it was minus 20 degrees in Toronto. Though we have heating, it felt like I was sitting in the middle of forest. I felt cold through my bones. Though I like the world and main character, I found pacing to be little slow. That's my only complaint. I gave this book 4.25 stars. Next book I want to talk about is Scarab Path by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is book 5 in Shadows of the Apt series. The first 4 books in this series complete an arc. This book sets in the same world and we follow some of those characters but completely different setting. One of the best parts of this series is its world building, and that is fantastic in this book. This is set in completely new city called Kanafis. Collegium got to know about this Beetlekinden city and they were surprised that they didn't know the existence of this one. So they send an expedition team to study this city and to form diplomatic relations. We mainly follow 2 characters. One is from Collegium, who is surprised to find that this Beetlekinden city is inapt. Apt means being familiar with machines. Beetles are generally famous for using machines and developing them. But in this city, Beetles don't know anything about machines and they are against using them. So this character from Collision is interested in finding out the reason behind that. We also follow this different character from Wasp Empire who came to this city for a different purpose. Kanafis city is spectacular. It's rich and mysterious. I enjoyed reading about it a lot. And the character development is very good, especially the Waspkinden. That's all I want to talk about characters because first 4 books include a lot of battle scenes. So if I mention any character name, that will spoil the survival of that character. I enjoyed battle scenes in this book, but not as much as in book 2 Dragonfly Falling, which was my favorite. I also think mystery behind this city is dragged till the end. I wish we had got hints along the way. That's the only reason I gave this book 4.5 stars instead of 5. Maybe I'm being picky. I was very picky in whole January, hoping for better February. If you have read any of these books, let me know your thoughts and comments. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.